My name is Kellie Andersen, and I have a background in mechanical engineering and applied mathematics. And before Bright Paths, I worked with an automotive OEM and change management for the interiors of vehicles. Some of my hobbies include knitting, getting into passionate conversations about math, and cooking and baking. Although I enjoy making the occasional complex meal or dessert, I'm not very good at figuring out what to make on a general basis. Too many times Pinterest gives me dud recipes or equates flavor with spiciness, which I have an extremely low tolerance for. That's why I created Recipe Rabbit, a web app that stores the user's own recipes and allows them to look up those recipes using one or multiple ingredients, so they always get the recipes that they enjoy. On the homepage, there are 5 options, which are also in the navbar. My navbar was built using Bootstrap on my base HTML file that each page's Jinja 2 templates inherit from. I used Jinja template inheritance to make coding more efficient and make sure my pages were uniform. Clicking Create a New Recipe takes the user to a form where they can submit information for their recipe. A recipe is created in the Postgres database using GET and POST requests and several functions from my Python/Flask build backend. Many of these functions use database querying to find if certain attributes already exist. If they already exist, a relationship needs to be set up. But if not, they need to be created and related back to the recipe, which all happens in the background before redirecting the user to their new recipe details page. After completing that feature, I thought, what if the user makes a mistake or wants to add notes later? That would require an edit function, which turned out to be my most challenging feature. I thought the backend functions would look similar to the recipe creation function, but then I thought about the ingredients. If a user wants to add one, I already had a function for that. But what if they wanted to remove one? I can't just remove the ingredient from the database because another recipe might be using it. Looking at my data model, I figured out that I just had to delete the relationship between the recipe and the ingredient by deleting the related row in the association table. The next problem was that notes and ratings weren't updating. But through really studying and understanding my table relationships, I recognized that I just needed to adjust how my queries were searching for the object. The search for recipes function is another feature I'm proud of. The idea is that the user can enter any ingredients from the database, and the search would return a list of all the recipes which contain any of those ingredients. This involved many queries to my database and adding resultant recipes to a list that is displayed on the search results page. After testing, I saw that if a recipe included more than one of the user's ingredients, the recipe would show up multiple times in the search results. Thinking through data structures, what I needed in this case was a set, not a list. I wrote several unit tests and integration tests, which helped verify that my app works now, but will also help me in the future when I add additional features to make sure that I haven't broken my code. Some features I would like to include in future versions are a user login, more robust search features that would let the user specify what to include and what to exclude, and a family recipe book feature that allows multiple users to contribute to one collaborative recipe book. For now, though, I've deployed my app and it is live on AWS Lite. Some have already used it, and I plan on using it going forward so I don't have to risk my taste buds again on random internet recipes. Through the process of creating my own app, I've learned so much about coding and myself. I've also noticed that as much as I would like to make my site more visually attractive, I am definitely intrigued by the puzzle and logic of the backend and like spending the bulk of my time and effort there.